afternoon and warm welcome to all. We are meeting virtually this time around. I thank you all for joining today's webinar, Revisiting Employability Skills for Sustaining in the Corporate World in Post-Pandemic Era. Year 2022, second in series of several student enrichment programs conducted by BCCM. Over the last few years, we have been conducting seminars on diverse topics to equip our student community on different skills and knowledge, where we call industry experts, academics, experts who share their views and interact with the students. I am Professor Abhishek Sinha, your moderator for today. I take this opportunity to thank our chairman, sir, senior management team, our senior director cum dean, and all the faculties whose untiring efforts has made BCCM today a top management institute in Odisha as well as East. Our panelists and our guests for today would be happy to know that BCCM has been ranked among the best management colleges in Odisha in 2021. Established in 2006, BCCM is run under the aegis of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, which was founded in 1938 in Mumbai, a philanthropic initiative to promote education and culture. At present, it has 119 centers with 367 institutions in India and 9 centers abroad, offering courses in various disciplines spanning from primary to higher education. At BCCM, students are regularly exposed to the concepts of social responsibility, community development, and experiential learning apart from the regular curriculum. Focus is also given on overall development, continuous learning through classroom-based and hands-on experience. Students and faculty join together and interact with distinguished personalities on different platforms like Think Tank Odisha, Mukta Chintan, and seminars conducted by professional organizations like Indian Society for Training and Development, NHRD, etc. Today, we have with us a panel of distinguished people with rich experience in field of academics as well as industry who would be speaking on the topic and share their views. We have with us Dr. Debabrata Das. Dr. Debabrata Das currently is working as a Group Vice President, HR and Administration of MSPL Group, a diversified business conglomerate, and brings with him 26 years of professional experience in human resource management. He has successfully and efficiently served in many major private and public sector companies like the Thapa Group, NALCO, ITC Limited, GSL Limited, Tata Motors, and Tata Steel, comprising of large people management systems. He is an electrical engineer from CET Bhubaneswar with PGDM from XIM Bhubaneswar and PhD from Utkal University. He has been a rank holder throughout his academics. He is a certified competency mapper, NLP practitioner, life coach, and career counselor, having a passion to mentor students and budding managers. Many of his research articles are published in various journals of repute, transformational HR initiatives, and introducing business-centric HR policy formulations across various organizations. He is the recipient of Golden Peacock HR Excellence Award, HR Leadership for Change Management by World HRD Congress, and Mentor for Youth Award. As a part of his weekend volunteering activities as on date, he has delivered 70 numbers of campus talks on various contemporary themes and is on the academic advisory board of various B schools. He is a life member of various professional bodies like NHRD, NIPM, ISTD, and advisor of L&D Global. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Abhishek. Look forward for the interaction.
Yes. We also have with us Shri Rajendra Kumar Senapati, sir. Shri Rajendra Kumar Senapati, sir, is presently associated with Odisha Power Generation Corporation, a government of Odisha corporation, as a vice president and head HR. A seasoned HR leader, he has over 3 decades of experience in entire gamut of HRM at corporate, manufacturing, and startup greenfield projects in diverse sectors like steel, aluminium, mines, machinery, engineering, and has worked at different Indian corporates and MNCs like Clipco, NDBB, Inox, Welspun, Hindalco, MRF, and Neelachal Ispat. He has also been board-level experience, is having a board-level experience as Director HR in the board of OPTCL. Some of his key areas of interest are strategic planning and management, talent management, learning and development, career and succession planning, employee engagement and retention, change management, to name a few. Shri Rajendra Kumar Senapati ji is an honors graduate in psychology with a degree in law specializing in labor and industrial law from Utkal University. He is also having professional qualifications, MBA in personal management and PG diploma in HR. Presently, he is pursuing his PhD in Department of PMIR, Utkal University, on employee relations. A warm welcome to you, sir, as well. And finally, we have Dr. Dindayal Swain, sir. Dr. Dindayal Swain, sir, is presently the director at Rajalakshmi School of Business and Professor Marketing and Strategy there. A PhD from Central University and alumnus of Emeritus Institute of Management, Singapore, and Columbia Business School. Dr. Swain has 23 plus years of experience in corporate, academics, and speaking. With a career first-class record in MCOM, MBA, and LLB, he's having varied interests in the field of digital and social media marketing, branding, motivation, leadership, marketing strategy, consumer psychology, neuroscience, personal branding, to name a few. He is also an ICF certified life and executive coach from USA and Canada. As a professor of marketing and a capstone certified trainer, he has taught in top business schools in the country like International Management Institute and others for 17 plus years. Dr. Swain featured in 18 top global contributors in the area of leadership in the Druckers Forum Special Report 2020. He is also selected as the 75 most followed marketing professor on LinkedIn for 2020, as per the list prepared by Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. Dr. Swain has attended 50 plus international and national seminar conferences in India and abroad, and has to his credit of 50 plus publications. He's also a foreign examiner for 5 doctoral theses to the universities in Malaysia. He is in the editorial board of 30 plus reputed international journals of the world and has delivered keynote addresses in several national and international conferences. A leading motivational speaker and life coach, Dr. Swain has conducted 2,000 plus training programs and motivational talks in India and Asia Pacific, and has trained executives of some of the elite organizations like Samsung, Ford, Renault, NTPC, and also conducted programs for students at several of the leading institutes. He has worked for reputed organizations like Tata BP Lubricants and Parle India. A very warm welcome to you as well, sir. Before we proceed, the audience is requested to keep their mic on mute and the video switched off. We will be taking up the questions towards the end of the session. Audience can send in their questions on the chat box, which we'll be putting before the panel. Coming back to the topic, the pandemic has definitely brought about a paradigm shift in a lot of things, and that includes the way businesses run and the business model itself. If that changes, it becomes imperative for the human resources to also change, adapt, and upgrade, and acquire new skills. Today's topic aims to understand what are some of the changes happening in the businesses and what does corporate expect from its employees and the budding managers in this change context. Now, without taking any further time, I would request Dr. Debabrata Das sir to share his views on this and give his opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Abhishek. Respected Chairman, my co-panelist, Dr. Swain, Mr. Senapati, my mentor, Professor SujataMangaraj, all the faculties of Bhavan Institute, and my dear budding managers who are attending the program. I'm quite delighted when I got the invitation from Professor SujataMangaraj yesterday. Today is our holiday and we are doing a lot of employee engagement activity. So first, wish you all a very happy Makar Sankranti, Pongal and Bihu, whatever way you term it, but wish you a very good, Makar Sankranti to all of you. The topic is quite interesting, but if I look at the topic, what actually prompted me to think, is the pandemic still over? It's still not over, right? After first wave, second wave, now we are undergoing a unique phase of Omicron, and we never know in future how many waves we may have to undergo. So this particular kind of pandemic that has given us a lot of learning to the corporate world. So if I look to the topic within a time slot of 10 minutes, I have structured a brief presentation for all of you to justify certain things. First of all, when I talk about the employability, what is that employability is, let's have a first common understanding. And how has been the trend? How has been the trend over the years across different sectors pre-pandemic? And when the COVID has hit us, what is that thing has really changed? Why you are looking for a new processes, new systems in a new normal? So rather than post-pandemic, my focus will be, how we can make ourselves more effective in new normal. So now I'll be sharing a brief presentation with all of you. I'm sharing my screen. Is my presentation
Yes,
can be
yes,
seen
yes.
by you? Yeah.
Yes, it's visible.
So the topic for today's discussion is revisiting employability skills for sustaining in the corporate world post-pandemic area. So a couple of subjects are very important because I am a person having experience of over 2 decades. That's a different thing. But I also have a very strong passion for academics. So whenever reaching to any conclusion related to HR, any systems interventions, first I need to have a linkage with the academic world. That's very important. What I feel also, once you have a concrete understanding about the concepts, then probably the applications will be more easier. So when I actually look at this term employability, what exactly it is? To me, these are nothing but 3 things. One is the ability to gain initial employment, which is equally applicable to all the freshers, all the boarding managers across different business management schools and other institutes. And once you join, then you have to maintain employment and also obtain new employment if required. That's the trend today because people are augmenting their skills, their capabilities. Second, it is all about capability of getting and keeping fulfilling work. So this is very important. The work has to be fulfilling. It has to serve your purpose. Third, it is a set of achievements. It's all about your skills, your understanding, your personal attributes that makes individual more likely to gain employment. So my appeal to the freshers, my appeal to the students, actually deeply understand all this terminology before actually we go to the trends. So this is all about what employability, and this is our understanding. It is more about you getting initial employment to maintain the employment and obtain new employment. But the bottom line is that you should have the capability to meet your purpose. That's very, very important and pertinent. Let me present some of the key employment trends as per the India Skill Report. So the graph is telling us a story, right? Please look at the graph, what has happened. Over a period of 2015 to 2021, I have depicted the percentage. So 2051, we are at 37.22%, then gradually it is increased to 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 20, 21, 19, these figures are quite interesting. See, this is where we are telling that yes, there is some hit because of the pandemic, because of the COVID first wave and second wave. 2019, it is 47.38%, and 22, it is 46.21%, and 21, it is 45.9%. So if you look to the sectors again, so these are the trend across the sector from 2015 to 16 to 21. I briefly presented it. So you can find, what exactly, which are the top sectors where actually hiring has been done, and they have done the most of the hiring, right? From 2015 to 2018, the trend is very obvious. So 2019, it is more about BFSI, software, hardware, and manufacturing, banking, financial service, and insurance. In short, it is known as BFSI, software, hardware, and manufacturing. Again, 2020, it is again then BFSI, same BPO, KPO, ITES, and internet business. And 21 also more or less the same trend continues. It started with hospitality, but the bottom line is that if you look to the core sector, the core sector demand, the demand for the employability, remains almost same. There are ups and downs across different sectors, and this is actually giving us a clear picture, which sectors have hired the most. Now, the next thing is that, like if you look to the domains where we have more employable talent, so there is a very good news for the persons, for the students who are doing the MBA. So you look at the trend. If you look to the employable talent, I think maximum, cases are there in BTech and MBA compared to the other segments. And the trend I have depicted from 2015 to 2021. So good news for MBA and B in BTech. We'll again see, post-pandemic or, in 2022 onwards, how the trend will be. That I'll be also discussing. Next. So if I look to the paradigm shift, now we are talking, yes, the trend is very clear to all of us. We find, yes, there is an impact. But what exactly is the paradigm shift? So far as the employability is concerned. So our traditional focus is always in terms of aptitude. Can I request all the participants?
May I request the participants to please switch off their mics, please. It's causing disturbance.
Yeah, thank you very much. Traditionally, our focus is more into aptitude. When we actually go for a fresher hiring, it is more about aptitude. We do a number of tests related to your verbal reasoning, arithmetic reasoning, data interpretation, reading comprehension, all these things we do. And once a person is being recruited in any organization, we used to look at the short-term and long-term learning needs. So these learnings are more of a formal learning program, which used to be organizational driven. And we used to focus at operational excellence, which talks about the safety, quality, cost, delivery, all these parameters. And one parameter we always important, that is competency building, right? But today these things are still there. These are not vanished. But the emerging focus have been shifted to some other areas. From aptitude, again, we have come back to attitude. From short-term, long-term learning, now we are talking of a lifelong learning. From a formal learning, again, we are into informal learning, learner-centered learning. From an operational excellence, yes, it is there. With operational excellence, we are now adding digital excellence. We are talking about a digital transformation and digital tools, particularly because the workplace model, the hybrid model has been changed now. We used to talk about competency building. Yes, the competency matrix is still there, although we are revisiting in most of the corporates, but we are focusing on reskilling and upskilling. Today, I had the HR and admin of a business enterprise having 8 businesses. Right? We are into mining, we are into palletization, we are into wind energy, we are into shipping, we are into 2 startup units, we are into industrial gas. So for each business, the value proposition is entirely unique. Now, in this Omicron phase today, take the example, the Karnataka is one of these states which is very badly hit. But here, my workplace model, engagement model is a hybrid model. So nobody has ever thought of, like, some of the conventional way we used to think, can a plant run with 30% of permanent manpower? In a normal scenario, if you talk to any operational manager or any business HR, a business manager, he will tell you, I will give you 50% of manpower, you run the plant. Probably he will look at you and he will ask, have you gone mad? But during this pandemic, we did a lot of experimentations. We built a pipeline. We make a healthy balance between our permanent workforce and contextual workforce. We did a lot of experimentation. We have converted some of the roles to work from home roles. And what we observed is really interesting. What we observed is that, yes, we have achieved that, that production target with a lot of changes, with a lot of systems process modifications. So this is very, very important. This COVID phase 1, phase 2, even this Omicron presently, what we are going, it has given us an opportunity to think differently, to do things differently, to realign ourselves. But bottom line is that the business mandate is a mandate that cannot be compromised. Okay, and we look to the options of reskilling and upskilling. These 2 terminology have gained momentum like anything for employability options today. Somebody is doing one job, then how can we reskill that person to handle a difficult order or a different level of job? Suppose one quality manager is there, what particular tools I can give to the quality manager so that we can avoid that redundancies what he or she used to do. Suppose I am introducing automations in my operational process, some of these jobs are going to be redundant, but for higher level of job, which are going to be automated, what kind of reskilling activity I need to do? Second, during pandemic, we did our entire process of performance management, which was done virtually. It is a case study for us. We did not meet anybody physically. We used to take 3 months to complete the entire performance management process, appraisal process for the group comprising of 8 businesses. But last year, it took me only 1.5 months virtually. And I find it was more effective. So we did it differently. And it was possible because of the collaboration. It was possible, we have to take a lot of extra strain, I'm admitting. Right? Sometimes we used to work up to 8 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever the clarifications dialogue we used to have. The productivity limit was not there, but we used to do the things differently. So the bottom line is that this opportunity has given us, a different ways to think in a unique way. So when we're talking of employability options today, these are very, very important. So from operational excellence, the shift is towards digital excellence. And from a formal learning, we used to do always through organizational driven. Like today, I'm creating a learning academy for my people. I am telling them I cannot organize a formal learning program. However, I am giving them a plethora of options to augment your skills through a learning academy. So when you enroll yourself through different certification program, get the best of the learning from the different sources, and enhance your employability. So same thing is applicable to the freshers. So if I look at the challenging roles for our budding managers, you are going to take up different roles in different organizations in the new normal. I do not know after Omicron anything may come or may not come, but what is more important in the new normal, there are some challenging roles are evolving for you and waiting for you. These are more into business analytics. These are more into developing flexible systems and processes, new business models through digitalization, improving productivity and employee experience, developing new products, rethink the way of working. Whatever you are going to do in any of the corporates, probably your major focus are going to be in these 6 baskets. So there are 5 ways the COVID-19 has changed the workforce. This is a finding by World Economic Forum. First is that, as already I have highlighted, it has given us an opportunity of rapid reskilling. It has changed the leadership and management competencies. I'm not telling that, the organizations are discarding it. The organizations are revisiting their leadership and management competency. Take, for example, here in this group, before 2 months, we have again cascaded our, the leadership development framework, and we have revisited it. We have brought in that flexibility and adaptability dimension as a behavioral indicator, as a key competencies. And that flexibility and adaptability is going to be aligned in all of our talent management processes, like what we used to anchor for senior leadership through assessment development process, or through the campus hiring program when you used to hire the fresh entrants from the institutes like you, or it is a lateral hiring or experienced hiring. A culture of transparency and openness. It is more about an open culture. It is more about individual and social well-being. This is again a bottom line. Health and wellness has become one of the very, very important factors, and working in a more agile way. So the agility has increased like anything. So these are some of the important findings so far as the World Economic Report is concerned. But the good news again, for the MBA students. So there is going to be a robust demand for business school graduates. This is according to a survey report. So this survey received 529 response from February. Between this and recruiters who are 50% European, 32% Asian, and 30% American, they expect the demand to increase compared to the previous year. This is the global scenario I am depicting. Now, 96% of the technology recruiters, they're projecting to hire. 68% of them already confirmed that the leaders in the organization need to have a B school graduate. Median salary is expected to recover to a pre-pandemic 2022 level. So these are all good news for all the MBA graduates. So MBA hiring is going to be set to the full tune, after the pandemic pool or after in the new normal, again, it will swing like anything. But if I look to the 7 employability emerging trends, this is very, very important. What is really happening in this change scenario? So now we discussed what exactly is the employability you mean? What are the employability statistics till date? What are the emerging focus? Now let's look at some of the emerging trends for the employability. So there are 7 employability trends. One is more about remote work and flexibility. Like the example I am giving today, I am operating in a hybrid work environment, right? So the combination changes. From a corporate office scenario, it may be 60-40 sometimes, 60-40 working remotely, 40% coming to the office. It may be 50-50 some days, alternate day manning. In a plant scenario, it may be more, like it may be 40%, at remote and 60%. The core operation and maintenance and the hardcore production guy, they may be at 60% level. Likewise, we are still doing that, the combination and combinations. Still it is there. So remote working is going to be a part of the life. So for remote working, all people need to have certain skills. And one of the skills we call is a virtual presence. It's very, very important. Now, statistically, the 42% of Indian firms, they have already chosen to actually continue with the remote work with flexibility. Okay, so if you look to the skills today, the recruiters are looking. This is more about your technical knowledge, your collaboration, your adaptability, and your self-motivation. So there are positive, there are negative. Sometimes people are getting stressed. Sometimes the meeting may continue beyond a scheduled hour. These are certain negativity also that is building up. So there are merits, there are demerits, but this is again a trend that is, right now this is happening. There is an increased demand for gig workers. Previously, it used to be only permanent opportunity. People, look for, a fixed timing job. Like they will either come in a shift or a general shift. The duty time is defined. Today, it's the model is going to be changed, and in fact, it is changed. So gig workers, again, they have been given an opportunity for a fixed time. From 2020, we saw there is a rise in these gig workers, and this trend is continuing. So I have depicted some figures. Today, India is becoming the second largest freelancing market with around 3 million gig workers. So youngsters, be ready. After pass out, you may get certain opportunity. Like some of the good organizations, like an intensive, they can give you a good opportunity to engage you as a gig worker through a value-adding project. So that trend is coming very soon, even for the youngsters. That has already been started, and that is more prevalent in IT, ITS, digital, and e-commerce sector. Now, hiring is going to be for new age skills. So what are these new age skills? It is more about the resilience. It is more about the persuasion, growth mindset, active listening, dynamism, and social awareness. Cognitive flexibility. Kindly keep a note of this word. Cognitive flexibility is extremely important. I'm going to explain this. So what is cognitive flexibility? We used to, dictate a lot of things so far as your cognitive skills are concerned. But cognitive flexibility is how flexible you are to change your thinking from one scenario to another scenario. Because we never know. Every tomorrow may be uncertain tomorrow, right? Every tomorrow may give us some issues and challenges. So how flexible you are to actually shift your thinking pattern from one scenario to another scenario. That is called cognitive flexibility, and that is emerging as a very important requirement even for a youngsters. Diversity, again, there's a lot of focus towards diversity and inclusion in most of the workplace today. When I talk about the diversity, it is not only about the male-female sex ratio I am talking more about diversity of ideas, diversity of views, diversity, across the teams, across their opinions. That's very, very important. So organizations today are building diverse team, and they are running a lot of initiatives related to diversity and inclusion. We call DI initiatives. So that is going to be a trend. Digital transformation and tech uses. Take this example, like when I joined this company in last February, I'm just going to complete 1 year. I led the group digital transformation. So all the work that we used to do right now in HR process and systems, all the things like SAP ECC, we transformed to S4HANA. We created a centralized digital platform through our internet portal where we can align our all attendance, time attendance system, all our performance management system, most of the HR processes through ESS, employee sales services. So our joining, our onboarding, our recruitment, our performance management, most of the life cycle activities is now, it is going to be digital. So we have added a different experience for persons, who are joining now. In the process, we also saved a lot of time. And you will be surprised to know the maximum joining and recruitment that has happened during the peak period of COVID, which has not happened during the normal period. What is the message all about? So this problem, actually, we viewed the problem as an opportunity. We use this digital tool actually to enhance our visibility at a pan-India level to attract candidates across pan-India through this digital platform. Mental health and well-being. While we can engage through different models, be it digitally, be it physically, your connect with the people to focus at their mental well-being, and mental health is very, very important. So we did a lot of counseling, one-to-one connect. Even now that is being, on. Most of my employees today, now or their family members across the country where they are operating, they are COVID positive. Some are actually in home isolation. So in this page, again, we are establishing a connect through a counseling process. We have created a helpline and we are getting all the updates in a day-to-day basis and provide all assistance. Last but not the least is innovation. Innovation is making substantial changes, adding value. The way you used to do the work, now that has to be different, which can add value to your business. So these are some of the key trends that now I am finding so far as the employability is concerned, but there is a positive rays of hope. Let's summarize it. So there is a demand, it will be for qualified and skilled professionals. For IT, ITS, pharmaceutical and e-commerce and BFSI, that will continue. Like what I used to show earlier, the same trend is going to continue even from 2022 onwards. Technology is going to be a differentiator. It will be a skill set that will continue to be demand across industries. Now, courses most in demand 2022, again same, the BTech and MBA, where maximum people will be employable. So these courses will have a most employable talent in our country. 67.2% of men, who used to make up larger population of employed professionals. Now the women participation in the workforce is being encouraged. So that is a healthy trend today, right? So the diversity ratio, even there is a mandate, the organization, some of the progressive organizations, they are giving a mandate to maintain a diversity ratio. And India will be hiring most of the internet business, software, hardware, IT, pharma, and BFSI sectors. So to summarize, I am finding this COVID is an opportunity so far as our employability is concerned. So I want to redefine COVID from an employability perspective. For me, C stands for cognitive flexibility, which I have already explained. O stands for it is giving us options for meaningful engagement. It may be like a full-time opportunity, it may be a fixed time, or it may be a gig worker, but it is really giving us an opportunity to learn, to upskill ourselves, to reskill ourselves. V is for virtual collaboration. We have learned how to do a virtual collaboration, and this is also equally important for the youngsters who are going to start their life in the corporate world. They must learn all these virtual tools, applications, improve their virtual presence, which will be helpful for virtual collaboration. I is for innovation. Definitely, it is an opportunity to view things differently. Kind of examples I have given for production, productivity, and the transformation process that I have highlighted. These are examples of the innovation. And most of the people who have contributed to this process is my GTs and MTs who have joined during the last 2 years. They have driven this project with the active guidance of senior leaders like us. And finally, this is the digital transformation, which is going to be the key, which is going to create a turnaround in the corporate. Thank you very much. That's what I have to say. Thank you very much for your patient listening. And thank you very much, Bhavan Institute of Management, for providing me this opportunity for the interaction.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your wonderful insights and the trends and what is required in the coming days. Now, may I request Rajendra Kumar Senapati, sir, to please share his views on this topic and how does it see things panning out from here?
Yeah, esteemed Chairman, respected Professor Dr. Mangaraj, and my co-panelists, and professionals who are present here, ladies and gentlemen. It's an opportunity to present and to discuss on a subject which is very apt to the current context. I'll share a few slides before you, which will help in understanding this better. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
So my co-panelist has already explained how this pandemic has ruined this situation, and simultaneously it has given opportunity for us also. He has nicely coined this COVID, COVID. However, I'll further explain on the same subject of employability skills for sustaining in corporate world in post-COVID era. The COVID-19 pandemic has already upended the daily lives of people, not only in India, but around the world. Developing countries are reeling under this COVID-19 and its effects. Stay at home across the world, business is now struggling to find a path forward. This pandemic has been a technical equalizer where people previously not that much accustomed to use these technical tools in the workplace. But now it has no choice but to learn and adopt for sustainability. At the same time, this COVID pandemic situation has taught human touch by maintaining personal contact with individual employees, making them feel valued. In our organization and organization across also, employee well-being is the major area where every employer is concerned, and especially as a HR professional, we are very much concerned. It also increased, this COVID-19 has also increased the agility and the resilience, drive competitive differentiation among workforce. I will focus on few challenges that the organizations and the leaders are facing this post-COVID era. Though we say post-COVID era, we are still under the ambit of COVID, and now we are struggling through this third wave. The first challenges, dimensional challenges, is the strategy to deal with this reduced demand and sinking market. As you all know, any business organization, the bottom line is the profit. Now, with this situation, with this condition, the demand for the different products, whether it is industrial product or also household product, demand has reduced and the market has shrinked. So when demand is reduced, market is shrinked, obviously the production at the different plants and manufacturing units or services are also reduced. This is a critical situation. Already people are engaged for their livelihood. There is a question of livelihood of people. You must have seen during the first pandemic and also in second, people from Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan with their families together with a bag and baggage, they used to walk mile and mile because they lost their livelihood, and as a result they have to return to their hometown. So the second major challenge is structural changes. So the proper structural changes as per the organization structure is now disturbed. Now everything is centralization, and as you all know, big centralization, decision making are deferred and sometimes delayed also. So the structural changes is also a bigger challenge for us, for the organization as well as the leaders. The next one is the process and the practice systems. Various process and systems, there is also challenge, because if everything goes well, then processes will work properly, and there is no improvement because everything is like a wartime now. So few processes are bypassed and systems are also bypassed, and new processes and system has evolved over the time. Next one is the organization culture. Now the culture is fractured. The people who work in the organization are in a different tune now. Everybody is disbelieving. The value system is also lost. The trust is lost. Nobody knows whether tomorrow he'll get a pink slip or he has asked to leave, or nobody knows. See, the organization structure is lost. As you all know, in any organization, the objectives, the strategic objective of the organization can be achieved only through seamless working of Trinity, that is called structure, process, and the culture. So there is challenge, there is dimensional challenges. All organizations, leaders are facing after this COVID era. So these challenges need to be overtaken, and these challenges are to be met by the leaders. Then only organization, the sustainability, as we are discussing, will be evolving. Let us discuss on the future work trends in the post-COVID era. What will be the future work trends? Already we are experiencing, and in future we will be experiencing more. Increase in remote working. Few companies earlier, before the COVID era, few companies in developed countries like USA, UK, and also they had few work from home, but not because of COVID. In Japan also, I heard that there are few work from system were there. But now work from home, remote working or hybrid work culture has the demand of the day. People will not be going to office from their home, they'll be working. It's not only economic but convenient, but also a safety point of view. People are they have adopted to this hybrid work culture. I'll explain on the hybrid work culture a little in my next slides. Now this data collection from employees in virtual mode has also started in the research as well as in different studies. Data collection remotely, it has started. This contingent worker expansion. Now earlier, contingent workers, which were contingent workers were provided for few positions. Now contingent worker has been, the definition has been expanded. Now for the larger workforce also, especially in the IT, healthcare, pharmaceutical, and other services, this contingent worker has expanded. Also, the expanded employer role for financial, physical, and mental well-being of employees. Earlier, simply by purchasing a medical insurance and the HR few employee engaged initiatives, our role was limited to that only. Now the role has increased. HR is playing a major role for during this COVID period and also post-COVID area also. I'll show a short film after this discussion. I'll show a short film on that. Separation of critical skills and roles. Various skills and roles are separated so that reskilling can start and more training. As you all know, the training and development initiatives, what we used to plan for a month or for a year for an employee, where the employee has to travel one place to another to attend physically. Now, remotely, he can attend 4 or 5 training programs a day, sitting at home also, because person sitting at the expert sitting at Delhi can train my engineers in Eve thermal power plant also. So that has increased the number of training programs and training initiatives. Dehumanization of employees. Employees who are in workplace, who are in office goers, now there is totally dehumanization. Employees are employee first, everything next is the buzz of the day. Emergence of new top tier employees. Now, who are critical to the business, their role, who are immense, they are for the growth of the organization and running in the operation. So top tier employees has been identified and they are being taken care so that the bottom line, other areas, people, temp staff and all that remote working staff can be identified and they can manage the operation. Now there is transition from designing for efficiency to designing for resilience. So in case of efficiency, in place of efficiency, now this resilience has taken the prime place. So the complexity of organization also finally has increased. Companies focus on expanding their geographical diversion and investment in secondary markets to mitigate and manage risk in times of disruptions. let us discuss on the reskilling of workforce for sustainability. So rapidly, for reskilling, rapidly identify the skill pools that disproportionately affect our business and drive forward. So those skills need to be identified so that we can reskilling on those skill sets. Build employee skills critical to your new business models. So as per the new business models, redefining the business models, though we need to build these skilled employees which are very critical to our business operation. So now the environment will be all our digital environment should be there, more of technology savvy employees needed for this business. So those who are not technology savvy also, they now need to be reskilled in, especially in government organization. As you know, there was time when these typewriters were replaced by computers. There was resistance, but now people have understood the criticality. Now they are also through team or through laptop and different electronic devices. They are also connected to the office, and so that the business can run smoothly. So developing cognitive skills to ensure that critical players can respond to the need of the redesigning and innovation. So cognitive skills need to be developed, which will play a better role in running the business and redesigning and innovation. Strengthening social emotional skills to ensure effective collaboration. Social and emotional skills need to be strengthened virtually. Again, without physical contacts also, you'll be in connection with your team and discuss issues and share the well-being, and you can advise, you can give confidence to the employees so that they feel strengthened, they feel socially, morally, they feel emotionally, they feel strengthened, and so that that will definitely improve the team spirit. Build adaptability and resilience skills to thrive during an evolving business situations. Launch tailored learning mechanism to close critical skill gaps. So close critical skill gaps need to be detailed for not only for core activity, but also skills each of the groups will need in the future days. So that need to be that mechanism needs to be, critical gap need to be filled out. Start now, test rapidly, and reiterate. So starting on reskilling programs make organization better prepared for potential future role disruption or taken on future skill gaps. So all the skills which are very critical need to be identified and need to be start. Reskilling process should start, test the reskilling models, and also continue providing skill training to the employees. Act like a small company to have a big impact. Initiate the changes in small groups with fewer players fast and replicate in large. Different teams, different pocket kind of things. This reskilling should start, and again this should spend to replicate this same after the proper definite result to other group members. Protect and spend in training budget. So the training budget, as I mentioned, now it is the best time for the training and development department to initiate more virtual trainings, and very good institutes are there. They are providing virtual training across India, or even abroad also some management training they are providing. So training and development, L&D should plan those training and provide training to the employees so that they are prepared for the future leader. What should be the HR strategy for post-COVID era? So I have coined it in the 5R. That is reflect. Create the time to reflect on what's next and think about what has worked, what you learned, and what has been missed in the response. We need to reflect on the various activities, various issues that we have faced during this COVID time. So those learnings need to be recorded, and we need to plan for future so that next those situations won't be there, and that learning should help us in our future requirement, maybe in the post-COVID. Recommit. Reinforce commitment to well-being and purpose through a focus on physical, physiological, and financial concerns. So the HR need to reinforce that well-being of employee is our motto, and we need to focus on the well-being of people, not only physical, physiological, and financial concern, but also psychological. Also, we need to look for it, because during the post-COVID, various issues has come up with this continual stress level of people have increased, and most of the psychologists, organizations are hiring psychologists to counsel their employees so that their psychological well-being is also taken care. Re-engage. Redeployment of workforce and maximize the workforce contribution and potential while preparing the workforce with the skills and capability for the return. So while the orders are less, demand for the product, so redeploying workforce and their potential, they need to be skilled, reskilled, and their capability should be increased so that they can, while they are at home also, they are trained, and while they return to workplace, they can produce a better result. Rethink. Utilize new business priorities to rethink and configure the workforce and workplace and balance ongoing evolving business needs. So the rethinking to how to the process, the parameters, how that we are maintaining, how it can be made easy, how we can optimize, which will definitely balance between the ongoing and the future business needs. Reboot. Realign HR and people operation priorities with the most pressing business and workforce priorities. So these are the HR strategies for post-COVID era. I think a lot of youngsters are participated in this program. So they may be feeling that their employability, I mean, their career opportunity in future is at stake. Definitely, I will tell that the employment market is not totally closed, but yes, there is competitive in recruitment, and constantly, definitely, constant improvement in employability skill to ensure to stand out from the other candidates will definitely help them. So constantly they need to improve their skills, whichever area they are. Especially when I said the skill means transferable skills. Transferable skills are very important. With transferable skills, I mean, other than the profession which you have choose, the skills other than the professions which you have choose, that is transferable skills. And the most important factor is that for freshers, virtual work experience. They should have virtual work experience. And as you know, virtual work experience is the order of the day. So the students, wherever they are getting an opportunity, like in Google Google throughout the world, they are hiring candidates. They are hiring candidates and they are working, who are working virtual. So wherever they are in freshers getting an, or who are also studying, wherever they are getting an opportunity, they can engage themselves as trainees, interns, with pay or without pay, and at least they can learn this working through virtual mode, and which will definitely stand out whenever they are facing some interviews. Now, there is no face-to-face interviews. So you need to prepare yourself how to face an interview. So interviews are basically either telephonic or video interview. So for telephonic or video interview, you need to get trained how to make connectivity through various social network, so that you can get connected to the interviewer, and you should have the experience of facing the camera and how to answer before the camera. And the last one is the dressing, how appropriately you should dress and how properly you should communicate to the interview. With this, I'll conclude, and I'll say that HR has a great role to play during this pandemic as well as after this pandemic.
Yes, sir. I mean, as you said, they were quite interesting concepts, and maybe we'll get back to that on the second round about human touch and dehumanization of employees, etc. And further moving on, I'll now request Dr. Dindayal Swain, sir, to please present his views and share with the participants as to what he thinks would be skills which will be required by people going forward. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Professor Abhishek. Thanks to the chairman, sir. Thanks to Dr. Sujata Mangaraj, Dean, Senior Director. I mean, she's a leading personality in the management fraternity. Dr. Debabrata, Dr. Senapati, Dr. Suprava Sahu from Ravenshaw University, all faculty colleagues from Bhavans and other institutes, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. I will take 5 minutes because we had an extensive discussion from Dr. Das and Dr. Senapati. So I will request audience to, I'll go for an audience poll to start the discussion. Can you write few words regarding employability in pandemic time? Audience, you are requested to use the chat box. Professor Abhishek, they can use the chat box.
Yes.
Professor Abhishek, yeah. So let's listen to the audience because they are listening us from 1 hour. So let's listen to the audience. So audience, you are requested to use few words what you feel. Or is there any problem you see in the pandemic situation for employability? You can use, you have got 30 seconds quickly if you can use any word which is coming to your mind. Digital marketing, business analytics, Internet of Things, machine learning, reskilling, upskilling, anything. You have got 30 seconds. Okay. So audience is warming up. So what I will do, now Dr. Suprava has mentioned artificial intelligence. Okay, that's a good beginning. Okay, so now what I will do, I will take 5 minutes maximum, and I will try to give my thought. There are a couple of things when you pass out from a management college. There are two options. One, you can start your own venture, and you can join a job. When you are joining a job, you need to be very, very clear. Because I'm a life skill and career coach, I face the same difficulty because no one was there to guide me. So even to a later stage, like people are mostly confused. Very few people in the world who have got clarity. Those who have got clarity, they bring extraordinary results, like Dr. Kalam, Ratan Tata, Tata ji. So these personalities are big because they have got absolute clarity about their passion and purpose. I'm not saying that rest are not clear, but the quicker you have clarity about your life's purpose and goal, the extraordinary results you'll be going to give. Whether pandemic, no pandemic, it doesn't matter. Though, like 114 million people have lost their jobs in because of the pandemic. And in India, it is almost close to 10 million jobs. So, like if you ask me, manufacturing lost 9.8 million, construction gained 3.8 million, agriculture gained 7.4 million, services sector lost 1.8 million. Out of that, hotel and tourism is the biggest hit. They have lost 5 million. Education lost 4 million jobs. Retail has gained 7.8 million jobs. So, I mean, there are positive, there are negative, but I always see the positive. If your objective is clear, if a passion, what is your passion in life, then I don't think, like you will ever lose your job. So now you have to think when you are graduating from, Pratyush, thank you very much. You mentioned competency. Thanks audience for your inputs. I know you are excited to give your inputs, but we will stop here. So let me share and then we will have inputs. So first you will have to think whether you want to take little bit of a risk at the beginning of your career and start your own venture, because now startup movement, entrepreneurship movement is going on. I will request all of you young ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please don't avoid entrepreneurship as an option. Please look into this. That's a little risk. I will not say a risk. It's an investment of time. Money, today you are having money. Tomorrow you don't have. Again, you will get back money. 8 out of 10 millionaires and billionaires once upon a time bankrupt. So today, if you don't have money, tomorrow you will get it. Money is not an issue, though money is very important for our living. What is important is time. So the younger you start for entrepreneurship and starting something, on your own, the better it is, because you will get that breather. Number two, because the title of the discussion is on employment. Now, let me tell you, like some of the employment skills which is now currently required. The first one is problem solving. Now, because of the pandemic, as Dr. Das was talking about, we have gone into a like hybrid mode and to a gig economy. So what will happen? There will be a lot of structural changes. So problems will come. Once problems will come, if you have the ability to solve, you will be a high demand. Problem solving doesn't have any structural way of looking into that thing. It depends on the situation. You might be having a skeleton in place, but situation is very important. Second important skill which you require, whether pandemic or not pandemic, post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, whatever, is communication skill. The most underrated skill. If you do not have a good communication skill, fair bit of knowledge about English, fair bit of good communication so that the other person will understand, because now we are going towards a global economy. Once it is global economy, the global language is English. Though you might be having translators and all those things, but for a job, it is important that your English communication should be good, clear, lucid, to the point. So the second important, I should rate, the first important skill is communication, and second is problem solving. The third is adaptability, flexibility. Whatever might be the situation, if you have the adaptability and flexibility, you will gain the momentum. The next important, you have given some of the feedback in the chat box, time management. Time management is very important. Anybody who know how to manage time in offline and online mode will always be preferred. The next skill which is important is technology and digital marketing skills. Anybody who doesn't have technology skills, like presenting yourself in front of the camera, operating different platforms, going to different search engines, looking at the search engine optimization, content management, content marketing. So digital marketing and social media skill will be very, very important for all of us in times to come. The last skill, which is very important, is how you process information, because world is full of information. Everybody knows everything. Everybody says everything. I have my feeling. You have got your feeling. Now, we have got Google University. We have got YouTube University. We have got WhatsApp University. So in this information era where information is overthrown to the market, you have to be very careful what information you need and how to process that information, because too much of information and too much of processing of information will kill your time and put you in a chaotic situation. That's very important because decision making at the end of the day matters. And for decision making, you have to be very, very clear in your mind and approach. The last couple of skill is leadership skill. Wherever you go, you have to display your leadership skill. What is leadership skill? You have to sacrifice your own, that growth kind of thing, like for the benefit of the team. If you love your team, if you motivate your team to perform, you will win. And the last skill, which is very important, it is beyond pandemic, is clarity of thoughts. Anyone who is confused, and I know 99%, I'm just without any empirical evidence, I'm just giving whatever I see in the market. If you're not clear about your life's purpose and you are moving, it is just like a beautiful aeroplane on autopilot mode and you do not have pilot in place. So it can go anywhere. So it's very important that if you want to face pandemic as a student, as a professional, you have to be absolutely clear about your life's purpose. What exactly you want in your life in next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Then what will happen? Then your contingency plan will come to the place. Because like how many skills you'll be going to acquire. Now I have seen during pandemic, people are going to like online platforms, MOOCs platform, and they are getting qualification over qualification over qualification over qualification. Now these guys are mostly miserable people and poor people. Those who get like with the responsibility, I'm telling you, because we also get a qualification as a teacher, I should not be telling it. But like too much of things is also like spoil sport. You learn, there is no issue. But like if you see rich people, they have got one basic core skill, and just like a fishbone, you have the bone in place, and then you have got the shorter bones. So if you want to know about business analytics, go and learn it. It will help you. If you want digital marketing skill, go and learn. It will help you. But you need to have that one particular skill that is called clarity in your life. What exactly you want in life? Once that is clear, then you will withhold. I mean, any situation arises, it will not have any impact on you, because what impacts all of us is what we think inside. Outside, there will be always, in the environmental scanning, Professor Abhishek and Dr. Mangaraj might have taught you. In environmental scanning, what happens? Those organizations, those people will vanish who gives more important to external environment rather than internal environment. So if you are a confused guy, if you are joining job for salary, for brand name, and you do not know your life purpose, then this life purpose will be going to hunt you down. And then pandemic kind of thing, if environmental impact will be there, then you will be in a difficult position. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope I have given you a short brief. What is important in today's world? Finally, let me conclude. One is your clarity of purpose, what exactly you need. Don't avoid entrepreneurship and startup, because now India is doing fantastic. Previous year, 42 unicorns. I mean, it's not a joke. Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister is also promoting, Government of India, Government of Odisha is also promoting the entrepreneurship and startup culture. Please look into that also. And then simultaneously, anybody who has decided that finally you'll be going to join a job, please join. Don't look at anything. Just join the corporate sector. Let the pandemic get over, and then like once you get a little bit more clarity, then you can switch jobs. So thank you very much. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, sir. Interesting, and rightly also that irrespective of the situation, there are core values and skills which will see you through the day. It's been a wonderful first round of discussions and different perspectives from all our esteemed speakers. Now we'll move ahead, and we have questions from the audience and as well as from my side. And we will take it up together. I will also ask and request the audience, if they have any questions, they can type in. Meanwhile, we'll start continuing with the questions. And first question is for Dr. Debabrata Dash. And yes, different skills are required, and some of the skills keep changing based on the context, what we are looking at. And I would like to know, and the youngsters also would be interested in knowing, as how do they prepare for these skills, key skills which are required. So this is the skill set, but how do they actually go about acquiring it is something which is interesting. And audience, please keep your mics on mute, please. Yes, sir.
And I really liked it. So you are a youngster and you are planning for the future. But before you jump to a particular area of skill building, three things are very important. We call it as a API. A is your aptitude, P is your personality, I is your interest. So first identify what actually excites you, what actually interests you, and in what way you want to align yourself to the corporate world or anything else. Plethora of opportunities, plethora of job opportunities will be there. That is not an issue. Plethora of skills is there and is also going to emerge. What is more important as a person? What is your passion? What is your interest? This is number one thing to look. Second thing is the purpose. Once this thing is clear, then rest working will be very absolutely easy for you. Take, for example, suppose you are a person who is doing specialization in HR. You want to start your career as a HR manager in any corporate, or you want to have a startup venture. Possible, options are possible. But what exactly is your passion? What you want to do? I think you need to have a deep conversation around these aspects. Take for example, suppose you are coming to the corporate today in particular stage, you need to familiarize yourself with all the digital tools applications. Like one of the area which is emerging, which is very important for any youngsters who is wanting to start their career in HR nowadays, I strongly recommend to go for business analytics and HR analytics course. Very important. And always try to understand the basic fundamental first. You cannot go to the higher order, second or third year thinking without understanding the fundamentals. So fundamental orientation of the business. Second, your interest area is very important. This is equally applicable. This is equally applicable for everybody, irrespective of their specialization, irrespective of their domain.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for throwing light on this particular aspect of passion, purpose, interest. And moving on to Shri Rajendra Kumar Senapati, sir, you talked about, and in fact, I would be interested in actually knowing it, is dehumanization of employees. You touched upon a little, but could you please elaborate on this? So what people are becoming more robotic? I mean, the situation where we do not have physical interaction is leading to that. What exactly this concept is?
Nice question you have asked, Doctor. In fact, during pandemics as well as after this pandemic, people who are on off-roll, who are working from home. So HR, especially one officer is entrusted with the job for getting connected with the employees, taking their data, taking their other information, health, as well as family information, and totally taking care of the not only employee's family, and discussing with the doctors, making available the doctors, and also in case of admission, visiting the hospitals to get better, to providing better facility. In few cases, airlifting the patients. So all these activities by HR during this pandemic situation, as well as in future also, I'll say that 360 degree of the employees' care need to be taken by HR.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. I mean, it's coming to Dr. Dindayal Swain, sir. You touched upon this fact that somebody should have a core skills and then build upon it. And you also said that people today, with availability of so many courses, people are going on and acquiring skills. So how should one choose about what exactly would be best suitable to him or the person, and what would be beneficial? So what would be a structured way of actually doing this?
Yeah, it's very important. For example, I am a person from marketing area, so I'll talk about marketing. There are functional areas like marketing analytics, business analytics, sales, marketing, supply chain management. You have got digital marketing and social media. So, for example, marketing is the basic skill. So you need to know 4 Ps, you need to know 7 Ps, you need to know segmentation, targeting, positioning, the basic product life cycle, new product development, the basic. So once a student have got clarity, he or she understand the basic business processes. Once he has got a theoretical conceptual knowledge, then it is up to application. Now, while choosing the career, it's very important to have at least digital marketing skills, because that's what marketers need. Suppose you are engaged in sales. Now you will ask a question, sir, I'm going to sell, whether financial product or FMCG or consumer durable. Now, how I will be going to use digital marketing? Digital marketing is always, you see, what is marketing? Marketing is basically meeting the needs of the customer profitably. So whichever sector you are in, you'll be going to handle customers. So when you handle customers, is what is your objective? Your objective is to sell something, product or service, and get the feedback of the customer. If there is a service requirement, you have to provide and you have to improve. So these are some of the basic functions you have to require. So if a student is preparing for marketing in particular, I'm talking about, selling skill is must. Whether you are an introvert, whether you are an extrovert, it's not an issue. Both are suitable for marketing, because if you are an introvert, you will be trained for certain skills and you will be suitable for certain skills also. Introvert people might be suitable for B2B marketing, right? B2B selling. Extroverts will be into the market. But now, because even in FMCG market or consumer durable market, now hybrid system is there. Though you are visiting the market, but sometimes when market is closed, you will be sitting with your Excel. So knowledge of Excel is very important for a marketing student. Basic Excel skills. I'm not asking high level Excel skills, but like basic how to prepare a report in Excel, how to prepare charts, how to prepare a presentation. So these small skills are very important before you go for a high level qualification. You can go for a 2-year course on business analytics, but don't go for a specialized course. Go for a long term specialist course. Go for a short term, like months program or 3 months program, because these skills will be going to change. Updates will happen. Because if you earlier it was we started with like search engine optimization, then it becomes speech engine optimization, then audio engine optimization, then video engine optimization. Now AI is coming, so things will change. So to adapt to the change, you need a basic understanding of marketing as a skill, and then like you can venture out as a spine. So the structural model will be a student who is aspiring to join marketing as a career or any functional area, HR, finance. I'm not focusing on that because HR experts are there. They will be going to talk about that. So marketing, if you are focusing on, you need to have good communication. At least 2-3 languages you should know: English, Hindi, and one local language wherever you want to operate. Second is you need to have your grip over the fundamentals. Third, you need to have digital marketing skill, basic skill. Fourth, Excel knowledge is required. Not very high-fi, but fundamental. How to prepare charts and how to prepare a report. That's all. And then you can go on adding 1,000 skill, whatever you want, like through like open sources which is available, through a lot of like opportunities that. But one should be very careful what to acquire, what to not acquire, because too much of acquisition, what will happen, the person, if the person doesn't have the basic fundamental in particular area and going on acquiring, then what will happen? One time will come, you will be confused that like for what you are existing. So it's very important. You need to have a clarity and move ahead. So I hope I have given answer to your question.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, it was fine, and I hope audience would have also understood how to go about in a systematic manner about this. And we do have questions, but the paucity of time, I'll just have 1 or 2 more questions. Sir, it is for you, Dr. Debabrata Das, sir. Right? It is from people who would be also getting into HR, and also because, yes, what you said, the Zennials, they would be mostly interested in freelancing, and that's what the reports and the trends show. And they would be mostly gig workers and not wanting to get into a permanent commitment in employees to a particular employer. right? So what are some of the skills those people who are getting into HR right now, or I mean the current HR generation, so how would they handle these things, right? So a person is not interested in working for one company, no loyalty, I mean he's moving here and there. So how does things would pan out for an HR person managing employees, or maybe recruitment, handling recruitment, etc.?
Okay, it's a very pertinent question again. You know, when we take a hiring decision, we always feel that it is an investment, it is a long-term investment. We are not hiring somebody for one particular 6 months or 1 year. It is all about building that rapport with that individual. So basically, some of the promising practices across the globe or across our country, in most of the organizations today, what we are doing, and here, this year for GTs and MTs also what I have started, we have a formal structure of handholding through an initial period of 6 months. So how does that happen? So we create two systems. One is a buddy, another is a mentor. So buddy, who is a buddy? The buddy is a person who can provides them all support, not related to job. Suppose somebody is very new, somebody is new to a location. We have got multiple locations. So this buddy will help him in settling down in that location, because this is a very, very important thing. There might be some issues coming to a newcomer. Second important is the mentor. So mentor, who is a person, he is a senior person in the organizations who can actually build that informal relationship, not a person who is a reporting boss, to actually develop that person and address all his needs in a very structured way. So what we have done, we have rolled out a 1-year process of mentoring through which we review, what's exactly happening so far as their learning goals is important. The basic objective for any organizations, for these interns or for this GTs or MTs, be it HR or any function, to shorten the learning curve. Today, nobody is interested to actually engage them through a 1-year process of learning program. Gone are the days. Today, corporates are actually, intending to reduce the learning curve, make them, ready for the on the job. So to make that transition happen, we have initiated that process. So what is happening after this initial 3 months of handholding, through a formal handholding support, then we are assigning some projects. So these projects are related to different activities. Sometimes it is related to a system change. Sometimes it is related to a policy change. Sometimes it is related to a transformation process, what I was highlighting. So in this process, what is happening? It is not desirable that the person might be knowing, number of things earlier. But what is more important is that the person need to have a learning curiosity. This is what is equally important for a fresher. Once you have a learning curiosity, I think attending a query or addressing any query or acquiring any skill is not at all an issue. All the organizations will provide you the necessary support to build that skills. They will give you online repository program. They will give the guidance of support. Your immediate boss or other mentors who have been identified, they will support you. So don't worry for that. First thing, as I have earlier said also, exhibit that interest, exhibit that learning curiosity. That is very, very important. And after 3 months is over, then there will be a continuous review. In your review again, should there be any gap, and corporates are ready to actually, invest on that gap and address these gaps. So be ready to take up this opportunity. And another suggestion for me to all the youngsters, please remember your internship are going to be crucial deal makers or breakers. Please remember, please take all the internship opportunities very, very seriously. And in a coronavirus world, I think most of the internship opportunities are going to be virtual. Okay, so companies are started giving very good internship opportunities to you people. So encourage that opportunity, learn many things, suggest few things to the corporate, enhance your visibility. Then when you are joining to the corporate, I think again you can contribute much better way. So don't worry that this thing I don't know, how can I contribute? No. First thing is that you need to have that aptitude for the learning, exhibit that curiosity. There will be people to help you, and you need to involve in many value-adding projects wherever you work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, rightly said. Just last 2 questions and then we will proceed for winding up. This is for Rajendra Kumar Senapati, sir. And you touched upon uncertainties of current times, and you talked, and in fact, the world and entire businesses have seen massive layouts, movement of migrant workers, etc. Now, even in that, students are not untouched by it. They are reading news, and there is a lot of stress among students also about all these things. So what do you think would be the right approach to manage such kind of stress? It could not just about job uncertainties, but it could be also about handling different kinds of uncertainties which come as a part and parcel when you're working in the corporate world.
As I have mentioned, still jobs are plenty. Job market is not closed. Slowly, business establishment are opening their shutter, and the organizations, few sectors like pharmaceutical, hospitality, IT and IT related sectors, and most of the manufacturing sectors are also job opportunities are improving. But freshers who are yet to pass out, they need to prepare this time, this period, this virtual situation. They need to, as Dr. Das said, they need to join or be associated or get connected with a senior, either as an intern or as a trainee or on some assignments, whether it is remunerative or non-remunerative, so that they prepare themselves and they are accustomed with this virtual working, and they are experienced, and the skill set, especially this soft skill set, those attributes they acquire, so that they prepare themselves, and whenever they appear for any interview. So those interview tricks also I have mentioned, that how to face this telephonic or this video interviews, and what are the techniques they should practice. So definitely, and somebody, the most important is somebody who is very confident. I'll give an example. My son is studying in 3rd year in KIT school in the computer science. 1 year only he has been to college, and last 2 years he's sitting at home. Through virtual mode, I'm surprised to know on my birthday, he presented a watch to me, and I asked him, where you got money to purchase this watch for 7,000? He said, Papa, I had done some project with a Singapore-based company, and they had sent some remuneration kind of thing. So one morning, while I woke up and I saw him chatting over a video call with some organization, and he's doing some projects and he's talking to them. So being a student of 3rd year, if he has access to the whole world and he's knowing what is happening and where, so definitely after he completes his engineering, and definitely he'll be well placed and he'll stand out among other students. So that's how, guys, you need to prepare yourself and take this time as a very advantage to you, and dunya karlo muthi. That's all what I will say.
Yes, rightly said. I mean, there are plenty of opportunities and no need to be stressed out, and prepare well for it. And finally, one last question for Dr. Dindayal Swain, sir. You spoke about emotional intelligence, part of it, like you should look internally, assess yourself internally, rather than looking at external environment and blaming it, whatever. But a lot of questions come from students is, which is more important, intelligence quotient or emotional quotient, right? And how do you balance these two things?
Yeah, both are important. Both are important, you know, like it is a coffee and toffee question always. Both are important, and I agree with, you know, both Dr. Das and Dr. Senapati, that, you know, these small opportunities, internship and all those opportunities, you know, students should grab it. They should not look at, you know, what is the remuneration, what is the benefit they are getting. I think in long run this will help. How it will help? First, engagement is key. So during pandemic, engagement is very key. We need to take care of our health, whatever is possible. We have to pray God. We have to believe, and, you know, like, because health is very essential for all of us in the pandemic. Second is, you know, whatever situation, you ask a question to Dr. Senapati about, you know, a job loss and all those things. You know, if something happens, embrace the situation, stay cool, and you know, like, rethink, look inside, what are the skills you are having, because, you know, if you're having an experience of 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you have traveled your journey, so you have something. That's the reason you have been able to travel. So don't you know, dishearten. Thank God for the uncertainty He has given to you, and I am 100% sure if something strong is happening to you, then you are a chosen few, and God only chooses, you know, those guys to face the uncertainty for whom He has got better rewards. 100% true. So, don't be disheartened. Stay back. Only thing is that having said all these things, financial planning is very important. So you need that little bit of planning. So, in this pandemic situation, little bit of, those I'm talking about those students, who will be going to start, or, they have just started, 2-3 years or 5 years of experience, like, so a little bit of planning here and there is important. But if something is happening, don't get disheartened. Things will be fine. And go inwards, see where you lack, and then, like, come back. So I don't think, so stay positive, and mental well-being is very important in these difficult times. And there is no shortcut. So your answer is, your question to your answer is whether emotional or intellectual quotient, IQ, EQ. Both the experts are there, so they also understand both the things are very important to this. Right? It's all about prioritizing, looking at the situation. So that's all from my side.
So, Professor Abhishek, can I add something to what?
Yeah, sure, sir. Go ahead. Sure.
So it's a good question. First of all, I must appreciate the student or anybody who has asked this. So as far my understanding goes, as Dr. Swain has said, and Mr. Senapati has given quite a good example. So intelligence, first of all, intelligence is a threshold requirement nowadays. Without intelligence, nobody can survive. Okay. But if you look to the emotional intelligence, it is going to be differentiated. So when people grow in the organization from an individual contributor level to people manager and a leader, then a senior leader at a strategic position, the emotional intelligence plays a very important role. So what's all about? It is all about managing the emotion, right? The way we face the scenario during COVID, you cannot imagine, the people have directly come to the HR head of the company and asked, why you are putting my life into the risk? You people can work from home, and why I am required at the plant? See the scenario. You used to handle the emotions as HR manager also. It is not about HR head of a company. If you are a plant HR manager also, the union will come to you, ask this kind of questions to you. You have to handle this kind of scenario. So emotional intelligence is all about competencies which you can learn over the years. It's not that immediately you can learn. The more you work in the field, the more you deal with the people, you will handle how to manage the emotions of the people. It's very, very important. So to summarize, intelligence, yes, it is a threshold requirement. You people are intelligent, therefore you are qualified through a process. You are doing your MBA and BBM. You are all intelligent people, and you will be getting very good, lucrative job opportunities. No doubt about it. But once you are emotionally more intelligent, there will be growth, there will be development, and you can establish your visibility in the organization. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, both are required, and yes, the differentiator at some point of time would be emotional intelligence. That's what sir said. It's indeed been a really insightful session, I would say, and unfortunately, due to paucity of time, we cannot continue any further. I mean, our speakers would also be engaged in something else. As I said, it has been an insightful discussion on this topic, and I'm sure the students would have got a lot of ideas about how to go about building their professional career, or be it in some corporate world or entrepreneurship in the field of entrepreneurship. There were a lot of ideas, lots of discussions, lot of important and new concepts, in fact, and structured models as to how you can do things better. Thank you, Dr. Debabrata Das sir, Dr. Rajendra Kumar Senapati sir, and Dr. Dindayal Swain sir for your excellent inputs in this topic. I take this opportunity to thank our chairman, sir, who has been with us all through this session, other members of the management team, the faculty, and last but not the least, our students and guest speakers for which this seminar was organized. I hope they have a lot of takeaways from this. And please, as all of the panelists suggested, please focus on your summer internship projects. That is the real learning experience for you in the corporate world. I thank all the participants over here for having joined this seminar and taken time out for it. Thank you once more, and we'll see you next time soon. Thank you very much.